I think I've always tried to be happy and like live in a bubble and just like, oh no, it's fine, like whatever, like brush things off, like it doesn't matter, like don't touch my bubble, don't pop my bubble.
Okay, well, Paige, you know you're in your home, so it's such a...
And then I think my bubble actually got popped, like cancer popped my bubble, and I was like, oh my god, wait, my bubble's gone. What do I do?
Let's go, chemo. How are we gonna take this treatment? Are we gonna kill cancer? Hell yeah!
Hi guys, my name is Paige, and I ended up getting diagnosed with non-Hodgkin lymphoma cancer at the age of 28, and I'm 29. And I got diagnosed in June. What I like to do is I live in California, so obviously I like to go to the beach, I like to tan, I like to go out with my friends, I like to try new restaurants. I'm a huge sucker for I love a good glass of rosé, espresso martinis, just living the normal 20-year-old lifestyle while trying to balance having cancer and everything and whatnot. I was just really, really nauseous. I kind of started noticing I lost a lot of weight in April and May. I was just kept losing weight. And I was I didn't really put two and two together. And I was always tired. I kind of stopped working out a bunch. And I used to work out all the time. And I was just too tired to work out, started losing weight and didn't really think anything of it. And then I always had a chest pain. I'm okay, it's just anxiety. We all think, every symptom of Hodgkin's and non-Hodgkin's could be your day-to-day. It's bruising, day-to-day, night sweating. All of a sudden, I was so nauseous, unbelievably nauseous for about a month. It would kind of creep up to the point that I even started wearing seasick bracelets because I was there's something going on that I had absolutely no clue. I thought it was a stomach ulcer. I ended up thinking, so I thought it was a stomach ulcer or H. pylori, a bacteria. I had absolutely no clue. And then basically I went to the emergency room one day after work and they're you have to get an ultrasound. I was I need a CT scan. I don't think an ultrasound is going to tell me anything. And finally I ended up getting a CT scan. So I end up getting a CT scan and there's a huge, they see a mass because it's in my chest and they see a little below when they see just a huge mass in my chest. And basically the emergency room calls me and tells me you have cancer till proven otherwise. So basically cancer till proven guilty, which is just wild to me. That's how you tell somebody. But I hysterically cried my eyes out, hysterically just was bawling. I was what do I do? And the emergency room was I'm sorry. The lady, she called me on the phone and was I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but here's an oncology number. And then I made an appointment and then I called my parents hysterically crying. And then I called, it was just it was insane. I did not process it well. I just cried. And then I think I drove home to Riverside. I don't really remember. It all kind of is a blur. I had an appointment that Monday with oncology and my parents were obviously going to be there. They're both very involved and supportive, which I'm so grateful for. And then on Friday, I was so nauseous where I couldn't get out of bed. I was so sick. And I called and I was the oncologist was can I come in today? I don't know what to do. And he was if you go to the emergency room, I'll admit you. Never been to a hospital in my life. So I called my mom and one of my friends actually drove me, which I'm so grateful for. I had to call my friend and be hi, I have cancer. Can you drive me to the emergency room? That's an interesting phone call that your friend gets. And and she ended up driving to the emergency room and my mom met me there and they're packing overnight bags. So I'm packing a bag to go to the hospital, go to the emergency room, sit there, chat. The oncologist doctor met me there at the hospital, or he met me at the emergency room before I was admitted, booked. He did a biopsy, a CT scan, an echogram. So we fast forward the whole entire process, which looking back, I'm so grateful for, because if I wouldn't have been in the hospital, I probably wouldn't have gotten treatment until July, August, because biopsy takes a month, a CT takes a month, an echogram. But since I was like admitted, every morning I just would get, and that night, like I just got something new every time. So I was at Hogue, the great hospital, and I'm at USC Tech, phenomenal doctors. I could not be more grateful for all the doctors and obviously I hate the hospital, but I couldn't imagine it being at another hospital. Basically, I ended up having to go that Monday and getting the whole treatment plan, and the treatment's literally insane. It's from literally like Monday they start it, and then Friday I end up being out at like 4 or 5, whatever time they're able to start the chemo on that Monday. It's like, it's at their mercy. They could call me at 7, 8, 9, 10. Whenever the hospital has room, they just call me and tell me like, okay.
Wow.
And like, pack a bag.
Smile. Look at all your bags.
Wait.
Oh my god.
Off to the hospital I go.
It's wild. It's wild. Never heard of this treatment in my life. It's called Repoc. And basically it's 6 rounds and it's 5 days in the hospital. So it's 96 hours of chemo. I get in the hospital and they have to like do a COVID test, a MRSA test, like all these crazy tests. They have to access my port, which my port is really hard to access because I didn't want it noticeable. And then they have to run a bunch of like blood work.
You got the beeps going on and the after hour menus.
And then they start the 96 hours of chemo.
I survived night 1. Little milestones we love.
You know, what were you feeling during that time?
I mean, extremely overwhelmed.
Chemo is not all what it cracks up to be. Yes, we're gonna have our days, our good days, our bad days, stay positive and fight that fight. But holy shit, I'm on day 2 and it is struggling past, and wow, that's all I can say. But I can get through anything I set my mind to.
During my week 1 of chemo, which honestly, my week 1 of chemo was a nightmare. I don't remember any of it. I think there was pumped with like so many drugs.
Well, why don't you tell us? Because this is the second day, right? So what's going on? What are you getting?
I have no clue.
You don't know?
No.
And then the emotional toll of all of it. So I like do not remember most of my first treatment like at all. So, and it was scary being in the hospital for 5 days. Like it's actually terrifying. I had to end up getting like really good headphones because I'll wake up in the night and I'll hear screaming. I'm terrified of the hospital, and I think it's gonna give me PTSD the rest of my life.
The realness of having cancer.
Basically, I think I just had to like keep going forward and put one foot in front of the other, and like everything's gonna be okay. And the hardest part is like trusting the doctors. Like I didn't have time to get a second opinion. He was like, you can get a second opinion, but like you have no time. And I had to start treatment. I think I went in like Tuesday and I started treatment that Monday. So I had no time to process, like none. Doctors have your control. I mean, I'm doing 6 rounds of chemo. That's insane.
How many chemo nurses does it take?
So just really having to put faith in someone else's hands, which not having control is really hard. I think I just had to do what made me feel right and push myself forward. I still wanted to be normal. I still wanted to be able to go out with my friends. I still wanted to be able to work. I still wanted to be able to have all the energy traveling, which obviously that had to get put on, but just still like live your normal life. Because even going through your 20s is hard enough. Like even dealing with like dating, friends, life, job, finances, like, and then having to put cancer on top of it is just insane.
Little milestones we love.
So I think just really figuring out like who I am as a person and what my goals are, what I want in life and what I want to achieve. I was single at the time of diagnosis. I did break up with my boyfriend in about January, and I was out there dating a bit. And then obviously when I got the news, I kind of like put everything on pause and really wanted to focus on myself and who I am. I want to have kids in the future and whatnot. And when you're going through chemo, basically there's like a 50% chance you can and can't have kids. So I was fortunate enough to be able to freeze my eggs, which I am so grateful for. I couldn't even imagine like not being able to, but that whole process in alone was insane.
Right?
Yeah.
There. That's it.
We're done.
That's it.
Woo!
Because being on hormone pills are wild. And I was on them for a month because I had to do treatment first. And then I had to go back and start all the fertility process. And that took a whole entire month. And most people are only on them for about a week.
Kind of hurts.
Well, don't do it quite so slow.
Okay, we did it.
I ended up was on hormones, and basically like 2 weeks after your first treatment, you end up losing your hair. I like haven't lost all of my hair, and I decided like not to shave my head. I know a lot of people do for like control and power and whatever they do, and more power to them. I just couldn't do it. But I think it's really hard to like see clumps of your hair falling out. That is a whole nother ball game in itself.
Oh my God.
Being on hormone pills when you already don't feel like yourself, you already are like emotional. I cried like every day. It was miserable. And then I started journaling a lot. I started just writing down all of my feelings and just journaled the whole entire process of like everything. So I think that has really, really helped me, is just journaling every emotion, like the good, the bad, the ugly. I think I tried to turn to like my family and friends, but obviously like I just shut everyone out because it was such like a dark spot in my life that I've never been in before. And I don't do well on hormones in general. And then losing your hair is another thing. I think when I got off all the hormone pills, because I was not myself, and I was like, I have to go back to my second treatment. I need support around me. I need friends. I need family. My family has been a huge, huge support. Like I could never imagine like doing without my family. They are amazing. They're at the hospital all the time.
Let me try the rice. See how rice is. Rice.
Friends have been amazing. They're always at the hospital. No one like leaves. Like everyone's there with me all the time. I can reach out to people if I want. And a support group is literally what you need 100%. And I think you just have to like accept the fact that they don't know what you're going through, but you need to let them in, and they're really just trying to be there, and they're really trying to help. And yes, they're going to say the wrong thing, but you just have to be okay with that.
And welcome to jail. We love jail.
Fresh air of jail. I didn't really trust the whole entire process until I got my PET scan, and the results turned out really, really good. And the PET scan's looking great. So I am so excited to be like considered like cancer-free and remission, and I'm just stoked about it. Basically, it shrunk about 80%. So, and they think right now it's just dead tissue, which is amazing. And my tumor originally was active 10, and now it's 2.9, and they want it active at 2. I think most of the month of November, I'm going to take it for myself. It's going to be like a Paige month. It's going to do what I want to do. I'm going to get back into like getting a personal trainer, working out, and just going on walks and doing what I want to do. So that like is mentally trying new restaurants, and then travel. I think I'm just going to look at like different opportunities. And then I am in marketing, so I will probably maybe go back to like looking for like a 9-to-5 job. I don't know what I want to do exactly. I want to do something meaningful.
What message do you have to those who are watching?
I think if you know something's wrong with your body and really being in tune, you have to say something. I could have been nauseous for months and months and just not have said something like, oh, it's food poisoning, it's stomach ulcer, and just really like, what in the world is going wrong? And then when you have to like be a self-advocate, you have to get your blood work taken. And wouldn't you rather find out, like, I wish Hodgkin's, because I get my blood work taken all the time. I see a wellness doctor, and I wish it would have shown up in my blood work, because I could have had it be stage 1 cancer, and that would have been amazing. And I wouldn't have had to be in the hospital, and I would have done treatment sooner. But since I didn't have any of these signs and thought it was like anxiety, thought bruising was normal, and night sweating, it ended up being stage 4. If you get this crazy, scary diagnosis, you don't have to have all the answers today, but keep chugging along your train, and eventually the roller coasters and the backflips will stop and everything will be a smooth ride, and you're gonna have different bumps in the road. But just listen to your doctors, try and make friends if you can, have a support system, accept people and let people in. I can still be sad, I can still be upset, I can still be mad, but like, what's gonna make me get through this treatment? It's gonna be having people around that love you, support you, care about you. Even like the nurses are some of my friends now, and they're my age, and they're awesome. And I'm just trying to like look at the bright side of things.